Okay, let's begin painting. So the first thing I'm going to do is decide where my horizon line is. And as I said in the introduction to this video, I'm going to have a small sky and a big land area. I think either way would work. So I've just decided to go for a small sky, see what happens. And so I really want to make it simple if it's going to be a small sky. So that's where the sky will be. And then I've got some land coming around here, some grass or whatever. And then here too, I've got some grass. And I want it so that when I put my figure here, actually I might change that and do it there. So when I do my figure, I'm going to have it so that the grass doesn't come between us and the figure. I didn't like that particularly in this painting. I thought that was a weak point. So there we go. But we will see. It's all about experimenting. And then we're going to have a reflection here. I mean, one of the things that's really held me back as an artist, I can honestly say, is my serious fear of not being perfect. And maybe you're saying, yeah, but you know, that's not such a big problem. It really is a big problem. And even when I'm trying to be loose or whatever, that perfectionism creeps in, and it can really stop you from experimenting and developing your work. Okay, so next thing is tree, and I'm going to have a tree about here, I think, and stuff coming out like that. So I don't want these two objects overlapping, because it will look just a bit too busy. Each one needs their own kind of space. And then over here I'm going to have another tree. Maybe I should have done the big tree here and the small tree here. In fact, that's what I'm going to do, I think. Because this one is a bit out of the way, you see. So I'm going to make that one even smaller if possible, and then have my bigger tree here. So it's really good to experiment, and yet most of the time it's probably going to fail, but it's important to try. And I might even have a small tree here, slightly different angles, yeah, very important. There. Okay, so we're ready to begin painting. Now, a really important thing is, because it's a small sky, I need to do it really simple, really simple. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. So maybe I've got a mix here of yellow ochre and a bit of alizarin crimson. And I'm just going to do something very simple. Like that. And then a little bit of grey, a purpley grey. So I get some phthalo blue, a touch of alizarin crimson, more than a touch, and then I'm really going to make this a wet mix, and I really want this to run down. Really, really wet. Again, I'm pushing it. And the reason I'm making it really soaking wet is I want a very soft sky. Very, very soft. Like that. And I like that. And maybe I shouldn't touch it. Don't touch it, don't touch it. Strong desire to do more. Leave it like that. Very simple sky. Okay, then the path. I'm going to wet this, and then actually I don't really need to do anything on the path yet. So I think for now what I've done is enough. I think now we should leave this and just let it dry. So when you do this really watery purple wash, it's very important that the yellow ochre mix underneath is still very wet. If you take your time and you leave it too long and this yellow ochre dries or becomes a bit dry, you're going to get ugly marks. So don't take too long before you do this lovely watery mix, because if this is more watery than the yellow ochre mix, then you're going to get ugly lines forming. So that's an important point. Okay, we've done the sky. Let's leave that to dry.